The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is going to host the finale of Season 2 of my Lewis Hamilton F1 24 career mode. Guys, if you haven't seen the previous video, the previous episode, the Portuguese Grand Prix returning at Portimao, go check it out, link in the top right for the previous race. And spoiler warning ahead, so go watch it. 3, 2, 1. And let's talk about that previous race. Now, it was a tough one. We of course took a chance on that C0 super hard tyre, and it didn't go terribly wrong, but our DRS broke for half of the race, and around Portimao having an open DRS is catastrophic. So we finished down in P18. We had a horrific end to the race. The rain at the end also threw us off. We went for inters, it wasn't quite ready, and they just didn't really go away. Anyway, we didn't take too much of a hit on our driver stats. We hit all of our specialist targets meanwhile, but let's talk about the fallout from that race. Now, first off, we're going to assign a specialist for this weekend. We're going to go for the quality assurance tester to basically officially max out every single specialist to level 3 maximum. With that done, this is where things are going to take a turn in this series. Now, as you can see, we have won both titles, and Sir Lewis Hamilton is now a 9-time world champion. Heading into 2026 in real life, Lewis is signed onto Ferrari, but in this career mode, we are going to deviate and do one more season and kind of take Lewis's fate into our own hands and see what happens. So we are going to break our contract with Ferrari a year early and essentially be a free agent heading into season 3 in 2026. Next season will be the final season of this series, Lewis Hamilton's final year in Formula 1 before his retirement. So the question is, where will Lewis end up for next year? As you can see, a 9-time world champion, it would be a perfect way to cap it off, becoming the first double-digit 10-time world drivers champion and riding off into the sunset. Now, I have a team in mind which I want to go for, but we'll save that for a later time. If you guys want to speculate in the comments, feel free. If you've been paying attention, you'll know what team that might be. In the meantime, we skip ahead on the timeline and we accumulate a whole bunch of R&D points, which is great. A massive break between the last episode of the last race and this one. So we now have a pretty big stash of R&D points to spend, and we're going to basically burn all of it on protecting upgrades for Ferrari next season. Now, again, I mentioned in the last episode, because of the high inflation chip we ran this season, even protecting upgrades is extremely expensive, and we can only afford 2 with those 1,500 points, which is absolutely insane. So I hope Leclerc's got deep pockets, because we're leaving the team and we're not going to protect all the upgrades. I think there's going to be about 5 left on durability and 3 left on chassis. So we're leaving it in Leclerc's hands for next year, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, the forecast for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is going to be dry. No rain expected, as you would expect in the middle of the desert. And as for performance updates, nobody has brought a single thing. The flat line, or the chart lines have flatlined. Of course, the last couple rounds since the regulation change got confirmed, teams have stopped bringing upgrades, and that has kind of wrapped up your lot for the season. So we jump into practice. Currently on our race runs, we actually fouled our first race run lap. We was slower than the target lap time.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
But overall, we had a decent session. I made a few tweaks to the setup after this because the car felt a little bit unstable. Tyre wear also a bit more than average. Fuel burn pretty decent. You can see there our first lap wasn't particularly great. We matched it on our second, and then we managed to stay under the delta for the rest of the session. So yeah, job done in practice. We finished in 19th on soft tyres, 1.7 off the top, so possibly lacking some pace around here. Leclerc P11 as well on mediums, not too bad, the quickest medium runner of the bunch. And we've got nothing to lose. We failed miserably last time in Portimao, so we're going to try again. Start from the back, take a brand new engine, and do a last to first in this very last race in Season 2, dressed in red. So we finish practice, we score a few more R&D points, which we'll see if we can try and spend those before we leave the team. However, if we're not participating in qualifying, we do take a bit of a hit on some of our stats. Namely, of course, the pace stat is the one that gets affected when you, perform or don't perform in qualifying. Either way, no big deal, decent session, and we are ready for the final time to send it as Sir Lewis Hamilton driving in a Ferrari.
It's the final chapter of the season then here at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. It's a race where the pole sitter failed to finish in 3 of the first 4 events. A front row start here is by no means a guarantee of victory. We go into battle once more then as we get underway at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at Yas Marina circuit through 21 corners and a lap distance of around 3.4 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, turns 8 and 11. Plenty of close racing then, plenty of speed and plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Théo Pourchaire, Bottas, Sainz, Albon, Zhou, Sargent, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Well, it's the last race of the season, but there's still plenty to prove out there. How important is getting the right mentality for this season closer?
Yeah, a lot of races to cover, but it's the same for the drivers. It comes at you thick and fast, and you've got to pace yourself as well to get to this point in the season. If it has gone your way, it's a great time to just enjoy it. There's nothing that can change in the championship pecking order, of course. If you've won the championship already, go out and enjoy this race and send yourself off through the winter break. If it's been a bit of a year to forget, you can try and take a bit of solace in this Grand Prix, end on a high and carry that energy into next season.
Here we go then. This is it. The final time we race in Season 2. The final time Lewis Hamilton races in red in 2025. Big things on the horizon in 26. How will it pan out? We'll find out in a little while. In the meantime, we have a race to finish and a championship to round off in the best way possible. Now for this one, we're going to start on the hard tyres. Same strategy as the last episode in Portimao. Difference is the hard tyre isn't a C0, which was extremely off the pace in Portimao. So around here, hopefully it should work well. A reverse 1-stop onto a medium later on. 2-stop is possible, but I think the 1 is faster. We're going to go for 0.3 of a lap extra on fuel, so a very little bit more in the tank than what I need, because we are going to go through traffic and hopefully save fuel in the process. So let's make sure we get those tyres fired up on the formation lap and then hopefully have a good race. Anyway, let's get into it. Right then, we've got a good temperature in these tyres, all around 80 Celsius. But here we go. For the final time this season, let's go racing. Right then, hopefully a fun first lap, a good first lap, a good start. Lights out and away we go. Not a bad getaway at all, to be fair, but we don't gain any positions. 29 laps ahead of us. Let's try and make every single one count. Currently, roadblock here between Tsunoda and Ricciardo, the former teammates. Tsunoda, of course, now driving for Haas. Down towards turn 5. Tempted to make a 3 wide lunge, but instead I'm going to opt to try and set up the exit out of the hairpin. Down the back straight. Let's see, let's burn the batteries and see what we can do. The AL will brake super early into the chicane, so there will be opportunities. Again, we'll set up the exit through here to try and get a run to the next straight. I'll do. Got a run on Ricciardo. We'll now try and get Tsunoda as well. We'll run it all the way on the outside the whole way through. And we might get Sargent as well. Keeping the throttle on. Getting the momentum, and we're going to get the exit. And we go through on Sargent, but I have to straight line it. Wowza, we almost run into the back of Zhou. Whew. That was a pretty sketchy one there. So straight back down to last. And we used a lot of battery as well. drop it to medium to try and get some recharge on the go. I don't have any DRS, so we're going to have to burn the battery to try and stay close. Verstappen 23.3, Russell 23.1. So that's the pace out front. Let's see what we're doing, 24.4. Okay, either way, now we're catching up to the cars ahead. We've got Williams, V-Carb, Haas, Stake, all those boys we've got to try and carve through and get through them. So let's try and get to work. We've got a little bit of charge saved up so we can deploy it, which I plan to use now. Hopefully get these 3 on the next 2 straights. Sargent, I don't know if he'll have DRS or not, so he may be vulnerable here. Yellow flag. That's going to stop.
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
That's going to stop any overtake attempt from me, so we'll hang back. There's a bit of debris there as Tsunoda loses an end plate.
You need to give that place back, I'm afraid. That was an illegal overtake.
I thought I just got that in the green flag, but clearly not. So Sainz out the race, but we're still technically last. Unable to make any progress so far. Come on. Tsunoda damage, so he'll be either boxing or trying to stay out, but he'll be very, very slow. So we're just bleeding time here. Let's see if I can try and put one on Ricciardo in the final corner, maybe. Oh, that's rash, but you know what? I'll take it. Another yellow. Oh my god, they're dropping like flies around here. Yep, another DNF. Turbo chair in the V-Carb.
Some information on Porsche. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
What a weird last lap. Now we can try and get Tsunoda, hopefully also get Sargent as well. He won't have any DRS, so he'll be vulnerable. There we go. Oh, that Haas can run. Tsunoda's rapid. We'll just go around the outside and pick that one up. Will we have enough to get Sargent here? Come on, we'll use everything. Got to try and get ahead before the final sector. There we go. Right, 15th. Now we're making some progress. Come on. Another bunch of cars ahead. 3 more cars to pass.
Okay, Lewis. Lap times are a little erratic at the moment. Let's try and close up the difference between them.
You're definitely not wrong. Although that was a very inconsistent start to the race. Zhou, Bottas, Albon. Next 3 cars to pass. We'll see if we can try and get at least Zhou on this straight. Setting up the exit. Gonna try and get to the inside. Just like that. Whoa! Okay, Zhou just completely shoves into us. Luckily no damage. That's a straight up punt. Oh, it just hit me on the side. And now we should be able to get Bottas and Albon though pretty easily now that we've got in between these guys. Next car is Magnussen, so not too far away, or Hulkenberg even. That Haas on its own, no DRS on anybody, so he'll be vulnerable. Let's try and get Bottas maybe into turn 5. So we'll just set this up, get the momentum built up through the first sector. Now use the battery up the inside. And it is Hulkenberg, so let's try and get Albon here. Use the DRS to leapfrog onto the Haas. There we go. Building momentum, building speed. Straight through. A little bit deep there, but we get the car stopped enough that we're not going to be hurting ourselves on the exit, and now we can race after Hulk in P11. Come on. Into the 23s. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we're within Hulkenberg's DRS range. We've also dropped Albon and the kit cars. So let's try and get the German, and then we'll be 1 off the points. Close in through here. Got plenty of charge to get this one done straight away and waste no time. We saw Snowden was pretty fast on the straight, but we'll go through with momentum on Hulkenberg and pick that one up. Right, up next, a couple of Alpines to get to the points. Let's get to work and close that gap down. 23.7, even quicker on that lap. Finding good pace now. We've arrived at the next stop. Multiple cars in this train, as it is almost starting to stretch back up and form into a multi-car train which runs up to Leclerc, as far as I can see on the mini-map, in P5. So there you can see it at the hairpin, there's the visual. So this might be tricky to pass, faster cars all in the DRS train, but at least now we're in the race, fighting for points. Leclerc is in early.
Charles is in for his stop now. Great stuff. It looked like you made easy work of that target. Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race.
Not sure if that's damage or not, but that looks like a 2-stop to me, so let's try and get stuck in. We might have a shot again Ocon here. We get really good momentum through turns 2 and 3. Up the inside of the Frenchman. And that's now P9. Let's make sure we stay ahead. As we now race down towards the chicane, we might get some more move services battling up ahead. Might get a chance to have a look at Pierre if I can set up the exit nicely. Stroll, Perez losing time battling as well. There we go, we've got the tyres, we've got the grip and the performance. We get Pierre, can we get Stroll as well? We'll slice to the inside, we might get Perez too. We run it in way deep, but we've pulled it back up and we've got the exit, and that's a triple to go through into P6. Alonso just ahead, so we'll sneak into his DRS range and hopefully look to pass him as well. What a lap though, very efficient. Verstappen's got a huge lead out front, but we're really cutting into that right now, making good progress on this tyre. Those mediums are struggling, so something worth noting for the next stint of our race. Gave myself a little recharge lap on that last one, so now we can go full push. So we'll look to pass Fernando, hopefully leapfrog our way onto Norris. We've got plenty of battery to do it. I've also moved the brake bars forward a little bit. Here we go. Let's get through and make light work of this. Right then, P5. Now both McLarens up next. Let's try and get into Norris's DRS by the next lap if he doesn't pit. On the brink of dropping Alonso. We are very strong in the final sector. And now we're behind Lando Norris, looking to make a pass with DRS assistance, of course. And we'll try to leapfrog onto Oscar Piastri, which would also be huge for us. I think we'll get Norris on the second straight here. We won't get our full sit on this one.
Lando ahead. They're holding us up now, so let's please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push.
Yep. Don't want to full sit now. We'll just take our time with it and set up the exit. Say that was absolutely horrific, but we've got plenty of charge to try and pull this off. We'll drain the battery and use everything.
Okay, really good. You hit that target nicely. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's keep it clean.
That gets us to 1.1 of Piastri, so we should hopefully get DRS if he doesn't pit. Although I'm expecting the AI to box on this lap. Those with primary strategy choice should be in. This is the right lap to do it, so let's see if I'm right or wrong. Verstappen's in from the race lead. Russell's in, but Piastri stays out, so Norris will pit, so McLaren are going to invert their cars like in Hungary in real life. So let's try and get Oscar here. Use the DRS and keep the pace up, pass him on track. Fuel a little bit marginal, we're going to have to do some saving. We'll hopefully pull some back in the pit stop as well, which will help us. Right then, let's get this move. Will I get it here? Probably not. My rear tyres are starting to let go now. We'll set it up for the next straight, just like with Lando last lap. Hopefully they will get a better exit. Yeah, this will do. We're much closer this time. struggling to find traction through there though, in a big way, but we've got it close enough and enough momentum to pull this off. And there we go, P1 for now, not a net, but we'll take it. Verstappen's looking very strong this race. And there we go, Oscar into the pit lane. So we left alone to drive our race and go for a few more laps. Now we're going to box this lap. I hope to rejoin ahead of Leclerc, who's battling with Perez and the Alpines and going backwards. He's got no pace in this race. I wonder if he got damage. I mean, he pit early. It's been a really weird race from Charles, but hopefully we can rejoin ahead of that crew and not lose time in wheel-to-wheel combat. Fuel also margin, also need to try and save hopefully a bit in this pit stop. We should be fine. It should bring us out P6 behind Alonso if all goes well. We're snapping through. 2.4, good stop, we'll take that. That's more than good enough. Alonso around the final corner. This is going to be right on the money. We might actually get ahead of Alonso here.
Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres.
There's Alonso going through, so we're going to be just behind him and just out of his DRS range, which is a shame, but we'll take it. I'll use a bit of battery here to try and close in, but I think we're too far back. Take an early apex. Does it pay off? No, it doesn't.
Charles is in the pits.
That's Leclerc's race over. I'll be him out of the points, most likely. We're now within Alonso's DRS, so we can look to pass him on the second straight. Went purple in sector 3 on the out lap, and now we'll just close in naturally with DRS here. The tyre difference will pay dividends for us.
Okay, Lewis, right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this.
I mean, we will likely pick up the fast lap of the race, hopefully. We'll be going for it versus Leclerc. Good run through the chicane, tyres making a big difference on traction, and now we'll go through. Alonso with the squeeze. We got a second track limit warning after the lap 1 avoidance, so we cannot get any more this race. Although I wouldn't have thought it was track limit, I thought I was on, but I had nowhere else to go. Alonso forced me off track, and lap 1 wasn't exactly a gain. I just ran off track for safety reasons, but either way, we'll have to just watch that for the rest of the race. You can see up ahead the McLaren's battling, so we'll try and get involved. This will be a purple lap. Will it be the best lap of the race?
Yeah, really good job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though.
We'll see if that ends up being the eventual fast lap of the race at the end. Anyway, let's get these McLarens. Here we go then. A couple of papayas are in our way from getting us on the podium, so we'll have to try and get through. Starting off with Lando Norris, who's been overtaken by Piastri in the last lap. Setting up the exit out the hairpin. Lando will challenge Piastri here with DRS. I'm going to wait my turn to try and get them hopefully on the next straight after the chicane. Just got to get the exit right. Piastri won't have any DRS. Not too bad. Here we go. Here comes the cavalry. Look at the momentum. Look at the run. 3 wide, but we go straight through, and we don't outbrake ourselves. We keep it on the racing line, but we get tagged by Piastri. Good save. We hold on to it, and that is P3. Russell up the road, 3 seconds. Verstappen just seems a bit too far, but we can definitely finish second in this one. Let's go after George and let's try and get that second place. Right then, it's taken me an extra lap to catch George. I've been trying to save a little bit of fuel as we did go into the negative. So now we've got a bit of fuel to burn to hopefully pass and pull away from George Russell. So we'll pass him on the second straight so we can save a bit of fuel on this first one. Also not use all the batteries, so we'll just use it to kind of, get close and set up the exit. Save a little bit of fuel as well. There we go. Now we'll try and get the run out of here set up. Just like that. Beautiful. There should be easy pickings. Plenty of charge on the way through. And there it is. I'm in the second place. Verstappen now nearly 9 seconds away, but I don't think that's our race anymore. Let's get that second wrapped up, let's get that fuel managed, and hopefully bring home a great second place. Well, here we go then, last lap of the race. What a performance. We're going to just finish around 5 seconds behind Max in the end. Make that less than 5 seconds. What a drive, closer to him than what Russell is to us. But we obviously had a bit too much trouble on the way through. Had we had a smooth run, we could have maybe done it, but Verstappen wins and we'll finish second this race.
Awesome job, guys. My apologies for that mistake earlier on, but we live with that. On to the next one.
He has left the field behind. It is victory for Max Verstappen.
They've won the championship and now they sign off in style as winning the last race of the season as well. Brilliant stuff by this driver today, and you carry that momentum through to next year as well, of course. So it's for all now to try and stop what they've created.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
There we go, race results confirmed. Verstappen the winner, we finished in second, but with a fastest lap of the race. George Russell joins us on the rostrum, and then we've got Piastri, Alonso, Norris, Perez, Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, rounding out your point scorers here today. Charles Leclerc 13th, the only driver to 2-stop. Very weird performance after a front row start. I don't know what happened. I'm going to guess he had some sort of damage, but I could be wrong, and didn't fix it in either pit stop. Either way, final standings for the final time. 40 points, the gap between us and Max Verstappen. Norris finishes third and Leclerc finishes P4. In the Constructors, we win by 93 points in the end over McLaren, who also beat Red Bull. So a bit of a drop down year for Red Bull in this era of Formula 1, and we'll see what happens next year heading into 2026. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe for more F1 content, and hopefully you enjoy the season. One more season of the series is what I want to do. We'll see how that pans out, if things go the way I want them to. But hopefully you guys stick around for the ride. Cheers for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel, the content, the videos in the comment section as well. I'll see you guys down below all the time. And yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Check out the 2 videos on screen. And yeah, cheers for watching. And I'll see you next time. Take care. And that's goodbye from me. Ciao.